Today on the Public Talk Show, we're going to be talking about the update on the Dr. Disrespect situation. We're going to be talking about the Lily video. Lily on Twitter, she made a video attacking the Daily Wire. Kamala Harris lies about Trump's stance on abortion. And we are going to be fact-checking the fact-checkers on CNN about the presidential debates. More about that in this video. Welcome to Public Talks, everybody. I'm your host, Kenneth Glenn, and today we got some news for you. So, Dr. Disrespect has been... He's been in hot water all week, and it's been a problem for him because he's got so many people accusing him of so many things, saying things about him, and then he made his own statement about him, and there's just all over. There's just been a bunch of different takes and stuff. There's been videos making fun of him. But we got an update today. It says, breaking news. Confirmed, Dr. Disrespect was reported by Twitch to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children when they were illegally recording whispers by the doc in 2017. A full investigation was authorized and no wrongdoing was found and no illegal activity took place by Dr. Disrespect. No arrests were made, no charges were filed. So, according to this, it's saying here that Dr. Disrespect has already gone through this way back in 2017. Which is what I said. I said this happened in 2017 and nothing was done. I said that in my original video. That's why I was so skeptical about the situation. And let's be fair. All the smart guys, okay, smart guys like me, smart guys who've been around the block, who've seen things, us smart guys knew that all this was garbage. We all knew it was bullcrap from the beginning. We all knew it. Now, I gotta say, I'm not a fan of what Dr. Disrespect did. So Dr. Disrespect made a tweet after I made my video. So I made my video on it on the show a few days ago. And I posted the video, I think it was yesterday or the day before that. But since that video was so outdated, I wanted to make an update video on it. And I never got around to it. But Dr. Disrespect made his own take on it. And he said that he did message a minor back in 2017, and he basically said the same thing as that's being said here. He said there's no illegal activity, no wrongdoing. He said that the conversation may have been inappropriate and whatever, but there's not, and everyone took that and ran with it. But us smart guys did. Now, I will say, it's still stupid that he was texting a minor. You shouldn't do that. And most people will agree. You should not have done that. That was just morally, it's questionable, and just it's stupid. That's just not a smart thing to do. Plus, things like this can happen. Like this is just something that can happen as a result, and it's likely to happen, especially when you're a conservative guy like Dr. Disrespect, a guy who's been questioning the COVID stuff, the same guy who questioned, or he was against the LGBTQ stuff. It's likely to happen. This is likely to happen against you. But we're supposed to believe that some random account on some random day just exposed all this information. We're supposed to take it as truth. I was even called pedophile defender. I was called a pedophile defender by multiple people for my stance on this situation. Now look who's stupid. You guys. The guys who were, like I said, the smart guys knew that this was all bullcrap to begin with. Guys like me, Tristan Tate, us guys knew it was bullcrap from the start. We just knew it. We're like, yeah, it doesn't seem right. some random gay dude post a video or post some random tweet and we're supposed to take it as fact. Like, come on now. Like, it's ridiculous. So, the same post says that, thus adding more weight that Dr. Disrespect is innocent, as this is indeed looking like witch hunt by ex-Twitch employees to fame Dr. Disrespect. So, that's, this is interesting. This is very interesting to see this. Like I said, this is confirmed, according to the Call of Shame Twitter. But it's interesting. And, you know, I've always questioned this. You saw my last video. I'm like, yeah, this is not... Like I said, I've been around the block. I've seen this stuff. I've seen it. I've seen this 100 times. It's just not... It just doesn't make sense. And then I ended up being proven right. Again. Because I'm always right. But like I said, once you've been around the block as many times as I have, and you've been paying attention for as long as I have, and you've studied as much history as I have, you just learn these things. These things just come naturally. But all the dumb guys who are like, oh, Dr. Disrespect's a pedophile, and he likes 10-year-olds, all morons. They don't know what they're talking about. And I just thought it was interesting. I think I got to talk about this. I thought this was sort of interesting because I just have to bring this up. The whole Dr. Disrespect fiasco happened to be on the same day as the head of the LGBT, or the leader of the LGBTQ in Maryland, was caught texting a minor, sending actual proof, by the way, sending him inappropriate pictures, sending him videos, inappropriate videos, super explicitly sexual text messages, which I don't even know if I want to say them on YouTube. I don't even know if I want to say what he said on YouTube. I don't want this video getting taken down. But it was super... You can see the video for yourself if you want. But the leader of the LGBTQ community in Maryland was caught. Actually caught. And it just happened to be on the same day that some random dude who's had tweets in the past saying that if your guy doesn't like Taylor Swift, you should divorce, you should break up with him or whatever. Same dorky, probably gay guy saw that and goes, oh shoot, let me get attention off of this, and then posted that. Because this has been a long-awaited revelation for a long time. That why did Dr. Disrespect get fired? It was one of the biggest mysteries. I didn't really know this, but I guess it's one of the biggest mysteries in all of gaming news and stuff like that. And come to find out that it was because of this alleged pedophilia thing where he was like sexting with a minor, which is completely inaccurate. And we're supposed to just believe it. And it happened to be on the same day. It seems like this whole fiasco was more of a distraction than it was actually a legitimate claim. It seems like it was just a distraction, a big distraction. Because, I'll be honest with you, be completely honest with you, I didn't know about the whole LGBTQ Maryland thing until after. Like, I found out about that like 2 or 3 days afterwards. I've seen no media coverage of this. Very little, probably. And I've seen no one make videos about that. For crying out loud, I didn't make a video about it because I didn't know about it. Because the media is so good at hiding information. And that's how easy a distraction can get people. And that's how easily people can be distracted and taken away from what's actually important. Because for days now, people have been making videos, making fun of them, and stuff like that. So it's just... it's finally neat that now we're getting an actual update. An actual revelation of what actually happened. And once again, I am proven right. So, another thing that Call of Shame post, or the same post, he writes that this is unconfirmed, but it's also reported that the minor was actually a former Twitch employee pretending to be a 17-year-old and trying to bait Dr. Disrespect with entrapment techniques while the ex-Twitch mods illegally recorded it all. They were all fired soon after and sued by Dr. Disrespect's legal team. And they're all very bitter over this and why this whole thing is coming out for the second time after it's already been dealt with. But you wouldn't know if it's already been dealt with if you weren't in there. Because that's private information. That wasn't really revealed to the public. But for some reason, when this came out, everyone's like just believing it with no evidence. Just kind of weird. This was just a distraction to take away from the LGBTQ leader in Maryland. That's all it was. This was all a big distraction. They wanted a big distraction to take away from that, so that wasn't the big attention grabber. That is what happened. That is what happened. 100%. Because A, it worked. And A, it worked. And B, it just makes sense. So it just out of the blue randomly. It just makes sense that this was supposed to cover up something bigger. And it did. So that's my final verdict on this situation. It didn't happen. Dr. Disrespect is still in the wrong, technically, for texting the minor or whatever to begin with. But, like I said, we also haven't seen any evidence, which is the big kicker, is there's no evidence of this. You think if the Twitch employee knew about it, he would have some sort of evidence to back this up. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. So, we got a video here I wanted to react to. So, you know, Lily, she's the girl who said the N-word a few weeks ago. And she made a video about the Daily Wire. Not necessarily the Daily Wire, but conservatives in general. And I wanted to react to it and respond to it. This happened on June 24th, so I'm very late to this. But I wanted to react to this and give you guys my take on what she said. I really haven't seen this, but here we go. I'm going to play the clip now for you guys.
So it should be no surprise to you that my Twitter or my TikTok post about the nerds and the dorks in high school, that's the one that blew up, and that's the one that triggered so many people. That's why everybody on who's very like conservative or whatever hates my guts so much, because you're one of those you are one of those pathetic, lame and you're offended. You don't like it. Hey, guess what, you losers? Guess what? America is sick of this bullshit. We gotta start fighting fire with fire. All your nice little essays, all your nice Daily Wire milquetoast approach to politics has not helped us for obviously. That's why we're being controlled by this tiny minority of freaks. That's why we're being controlled by these people. I just watched the show with Brett Cooper, basically all over me. And you know why? She literally admitted it in the video. She was like, I'm a theater kid. That's why they don't like me. They don't like me because I'm right about you. Because you are one of those theater nerds, and just because you're like conservative now doesn't mean jack. You don't like, you have a grudge, you have a chip on your shoulder, and it shows. And it shows. I'm doing more for free speech than any of these Daily Wire. These Daily Wire the most milquetoast conservative things. They don't get canceled for it because it's nothing controversial. They always play it safe, and then they can people like Candace Owens when they step barely out of line. Oh, because we can't do that. These kind of people are such hypocrites. These kind of people are so fake They're the fake people that I've been screaming about. They're the fake people who act like they're fighting for our freedoms, and meanwhile, it's all just a business, it's all just about money, and they will not cross over a line. They're not actually out here fighting for you because they don't care. They're too busy trying to keep up this perfect little image and keep up this uncancelable act that they've got going, and they've got it perfected. They make so much money over there because they never step out of line. So good on you, Candace Owens. Good on you getting fired, because that showed that you actually have some backbone and you actually care about this fucking country. This is why people are coming for me, because I say it how it is. And I talk like how the people talk, because I'm one of the people. I'm not trying to make money off this. I made no money off this, by the way. But I actually do care about free speech in this country. And I've done more for free speech than any of those over at the Daily Wire have ever done in their entire career.
All right, so that was a lot. Okay, that was a lot to take in. So, where do I even start? Conservatives are like the theater kids. So, I don't think that was the problem with the video. For at least most people. And, like, some of the things I can get where she's coming from. Like, the milquetoast kind of, like, laid-back conservative movement thing. I can kind of see where she's coming from. Because a lot of conservative media groups don't like stepping out of line. They don't like going too far. Steven Crowder even made that complaint about the Daily Wire or whatever. But the problem with her, A, she swears all the time, which is just annoying, and it makes you look less intelligent, in my opinion. But besides that, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You've done more for the conservative movement than the Daily Wire has? I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think that's the case at all. Like, you've done more than, like, Charlie Kirk. Like, just, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And we don't really know why the Daily Wire fired Candace Owens. We don't really know. I don't even think Candace really knows either. But still, it's just like, I don't really get what she's, like, trying to say here. I don't really get, like, she doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I like what she's doing. I like that she's on the conservative side. I like that. She has good values, clearly, since she's a conservative. But I don't really like her approach. Her approach isn't the greatest. Because, like, if I'm a liberal watching that video, you've learned nothing. And that's the problem. She's not teachable. Or she doesn't teach. I'm not saying she's not teachable. I'm saying that she's not educational. She's not making a valid point. She just insults. And saying that we need to go to war the same way that they are, like the liberals are, and we need to have the same approach because we haven't been winning the war. What are you talking about? Like, did you not... Are you not seeing the polls? Trump's clearly the more supported candidate. Conservatism is, like, starting to boom more in the public. Now, there could be many reasons for that. But just this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't really get this. Like I said, I like her because, like, I like what she's doing. I like that she's a conservative, like I said. I like that she speaks her mind. I'd rather somebody that speaks their mind than somebody who just kind of like walks around what they actually think. I like that about her. However, I just don't really care because, like, she's not really teaching anything. She's not being educational. She's not bringing up a point, which is the important thing. The important thing with politics is that you have to have a point. If you don't have a point, or you're not making a point, or you're not trying to teach and show why your side's better than their side, you're not going to really win a lot of people over. This whole stuff is just not going to work. Like I said, she said some things that are fine in that video, but yeah, no, not That wasn't very great, in my opinion. Just not a good take at all on her part. All right, moving on. So Kamala Harris got fact checked by lying, or after she lied about Trump's stance on abortion. So this comes from the Daily Wire. Vice President Kamala Harris was fact checked in a community note on X that blasted by social media users after claiming on Sunday that former President Donald Trump would institute a federal abortion ban. Harris tweeted, Donald Trump. So this is what she said. So she said, Donald Trump would ban abortion nationwide. President Joe Biden and I will do everything in our power to stop him and restore women's reproductive freedom. I love that term. It's like, oh, women's reproductive freedom. Yeah. You get to literally rip your baby limb from limb to limb, and you get to crush their skull and suck their brains out and then you get to put their body in a smoothie and sell it at your cafe. And it's like, oh, it's just reproductive rights, man. Come on. It's not that bad. It's just reproductive rights. And everybody who's been paying attention knows that Trump isn't like that tight on abortion. Even Ron DeSantis pointed this out. Like I don't remember, like it was like 2 years ago or a year ago. Like even DeSantis pointed that out. So it continues. The vice president's post came out just 3 days after Trump said in his debate with Joe Biden that he would not sign a federal abortion ban, a position he has taken throughout the 2024 campaign. Now, I know what Trump's doing here, I know what he's doing here. I know why I know how he's doing here, because it's not been done before. Most conservative presidents always take this stance on their second term. They take a more lenient approach on abortion to stay in office or to get office back, like Trump's doing in this scenario. But I still don't like it. I don't like that take at all. Abortion is terrible. I kind of hate the idea that we even talk about abortion in America as if it's some like issue, as if it's like something that is mandatory. They act like banning abortions like banning chemotherapy or something like that. Like people are gonna die if you ban abortion, which stats show that that's not true because abortion wasn't banned for, or abortion was banned for, I don't know, let's say 200 years or so, less than 200 years in America before it got legalized. And it wasn't like people were mass genocided and like women were dying left and right from childbirth. Because childbirth is a normal thing that's supposed to happen. It is a biological thing that's supposed to happen. It's kind of like trying to stop people from breathing. It's like, oh, if you breathe too much, you might die. It's like, it's a normal thing. Now, obviously, there's problems to pregnancy, but we also have ways to solve that now. We have ways to fix that. Abortion isn't necessary. It's not. It really isn't. There's a million abortions done every single year, and none of them help women save their lives. Okay? It's all convenience purposes, rape and incest. That's it. That's it. So, and the reason why that is because spontaneous abortions and like the ectopic pregnancy abortions, those aren't recorded in that data because they're not they're abortions technically, but they're not recorded as abortions because they're medically necessary. And there isn't really even a lot of convincing evidence to back up the claim that we need abortion legalized because women will get coat hanger abortions. Because, like, the year before Roe v. Wade was passed, there weren't even that many people dying of coat hanger abortions and, like, alleyway abortions, stuff like that. That wasn't really a thing either. So this idea that we need abortion for some reason is just retarded. I said it. It's retarded. Supporting abortion and the murdering of babies, and I don't regret it either. Supporting the murdering of babies and stuff like that is flat out immorally, it's straight up immoral, terrible, stupid, and I don't care. I just don't care what you think. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. Abortion is terrible. It is the worst thing you could possibly stand for. So stupid. And we're the only country, by the way, who, like, debates over this. We're the only country that's like, oh yeah, should we be able to kill our babies or not? Andrew Tate made an amazing point during his live stream of the debates. And you can watch him on Rumble, Tate Speech on Rumble. You can watch that. But he's like, it's a complete waste of time. We have actual issues we need to solve in America, and we're going to sit here and argue about whether or not a woman should be able to kill their baby. It's just stupid. And the idea that whoever gets put in office relies heavily on who allows women to kill their kids is kind of messed up. It shouldn't be that. Abortion should not be celebrated. It's not celebrated in any other country. It's illegal in most every country. There's like maybe a couple niche countries that have abortion, but majority of the countries that you know of have abortion illegal. Like, all the way around. Nothing. The community note on the article continues. The community note on X fact-checked Harris's claim, stating President Trump has repeatedly said that he will not sign a national abortion ban. Wrecked. He should, though. That'd be based. He probably is. Because regardless of Trump's stance now, you gotta admit Donald Trump is the most pro-life president we've ever had. Charlie Kirk even talks about that in his MAGA Doctrine book. The fact check also provided multiple links to articles from legacy media outlets reporting on Trump's abortion stance, and a link to the video posted by Trump on Truth Social in April. Man, could you imagine being this bad at being like the vice president? That you don't even know what your political opponent stands for or not? By the way, since the debates, this cup has never went empty. This cup has stayed full since the debates, because the leftist tears are all over. I've not had a single limited supply of leftist tears since the debates. It's really funny. I've actually had people on my channel who are like regular viewers, people who like watch my videos and try to debate me and stuff. They've all disappeared since the debates. It's just kind of funny. All the libs are gone. During the CNN debate on Thursday, Trump reiterated that he would not support federal bans on abortion or abortion pills. Which, like I said, terrible take, but I know why he's doing it. I know the historical significance of this. It's morally absent. And we'll see where he goes with it. Maybe when he takes office, he does a bait and switch like most presidents have with this. But I still hate this. I think we should be forward with our support of abortion. Okay, abortion is literally killing babies. It shouldn't be controversial to be against the murdering of children. I'm sorry. That shouldn't be controversial. Why is being against murdering of children a hot take to have? I know why, because people are stupid. He also continued to defend the Supreme Court's ruling over Roe v. Wade, which was partly accomplished thanks to 3 conservative justices appointed by Trump. And added that the Democrats, such as Biden, are the radicals in the abortion debate. Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortions. This is a quote. You could do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We think that's a good thing. Or we don't think it's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing, Trump said. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans. Which is true. Democrats are the radicals. Democrats are the radical ones. They're the ones that want to kill your kids. They're the ones that want naked dudes twerking in front of your kids. They're the ones that want gay guys to wave their penises in kids' faces. They're the satanic pedophiles, not the Republicans. The Democrats are. They're the ones that have been in support of these garbage things since the beginning. They're the ones that founded the KKK, for crying out loud. Case closed. Alright, moving on. Last thing of the day. This is the thing I wanted to get to. This is fun. So, there's a CNN fact check of the debates, which I didn't see. I didn't see this one. And it says that Trump made more than 30 false claims during the CNN presidential debate. So, let's see what he does. Let's see how true this is. So, this is CNN, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. So, number 1, Trump on abortion policy after Roe v. Wade. And the claim is that Trump repeated his frequent claim that everybody wanted Roe v. Wade overturned, and the power to set abortion policy returned to individual states, he said. Everybody wanted to get back to the states, everybody, without exceptions, Democrat, Republican, liberals, everybody wanted it back, religious leaders. He also added every legal scholar wanted it that way. So, and the fact check here is that he used the term everybody. Which, yeah, I guess that's a lie. But I also don't think Trump was trying to say that literally every single person in existence was supportive of abortion going back to the states. That's not the claim he's made, because obviously he knows, and also obviously Trump knows that that's not the case either. Trump knows that that's not the case because he was literally standing in front of Joe Biden. Trump doesn't actually think that everybody was against abortion. Because he was literally standing across from Joe Biden. So I don't think he actually meant it the way he said it. He didn't say everybody. Same way as if I said, like, everybody knows that. Like, if we're talking, I'm like, well, everybody knows that. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. Like, it doesn't matter what we're talking about. Spider-Man got bit by a spider. That's why he has powers. Everybody knows that. Well, not everybody knows that. Because a newborn baby's not going to know that Spider-Man. So technically, me saying that is a lie. So you got to take what I'm saying in the context of what's being said. Rejected lie. It's not really a lie. It's more of a grammatical error. And if you were to ask Trump if he actually thinks every single person supports it or is for abortion to be to the states, he would obviously tell you no. He doesn't actually believe that. He doesn't believe for 5 seconds. And then this is another one that he did. This is another abortion related one. This is the second one of the article. It says Trump repeated his frequent claim that Democrats will kill babies in the 8th and 9th month of pregnancy, or even after birth. What's wrong with that? That's a true thing. They actually do that. Wait, I'm confused. Fact first. Trump's claim that Democrats kill baby after birth is nonsense. That is illegal in all 50 states. A very small percentage of abortions happen at or after 21 weeks of pregnancy. That okay, so that's nonsense. That's illegal. By the way, some of them do actually happen. By the way, and what are you talking about? It's illegal. So how come they happen? If they're actually illegal, then how come they happen, and nobody goes to prison for doing that? That's my question. It's recorded. You can literally look it up and like watch it, and not watch it, but you can read about it. It happens. What are you talking about? Even if it's only happened one time in human history, it still happened. I don't know. It's just Trump on the suckers and losers controversy. This is the third one. So Trump on the suckers and losers controversy. Trump denied that he used the word suckers and losers to describe members of the U.S. military who had been killed in action after Biden pointed to the remarks to criticize his predecessor's record on supporting veterans. So, not sure what could be wrong with this. Trump claimed that Biden made it up. No, he didn't. Trump did not claim that he made it up. The story was initially reported by The Atlantic, the magazine. So Trump actually did say that. Trump said that it was some failing magazine that brought it up. He did not say that Joe Biden made up the whole thing. What he did say was that Biden used it in his campaign stuff. He used it to help boost his campaign. But he didn't say he made it up. He literally said it, word for word. He literally said the magazine, a failing magazine, used a story to get attention. And Biden used it for that. I'm surprised that wasn't a fact check. I'm surprised that Biden saying that the suckers and losers thing wasn't a fact check because there's no evidence of it. But whatever. I digress. Moving on. Biden on his record as commander-in-chief. Yeah, we already know this one. Basically, Biden said that no soldiers died underneath his watch, and that has in fact happened. Super inexcusable, garbage. He should get impeached just for saying that, honestly. Moving on. Trump on the term super predators. Trump claimed that Biden called black people super predators for a decade in the 90s. So, I will agree with this. This is not true. However, another Democrat by the name of Hillary Clinton did. And since Trump's debated them both and stuff like that, he probably realistically could have gotten confused between the two. He probably could have misremembered. However, that doesn't make Biden innocent. Biden has had a terrible track record in the 90s of racism and working with terribly racist people and worked with, he actually spoke at a Klan member's funeral for crying out loud. Like, he has a terrible record. And Biden didn't use the word, and Biden may not have used the term super predators, but he's literally had a speech. It's like a 6-minute long video. You can look it up on YouTube. Biden literally goes on and says that there are people who are born out of wedlock, who are beyond the pale, there are predators in our streets, and he doesn't care about their background when he's pushing his pro-crime bill stuff. He was literally saying stuff like that. Borderline racist things. And also his record in Congress has just been atrocious when it comes to the black community. Completely atrocious. Even Kamala Harris brought it up in the debate, the whole busing thing. So, yeah. So, yes, this is a lie, but it's not really that far off. Biden still called black people predators. Technically. And it's reasonable just to accept the fact that he probably got confused between the two. Because Hillary Clinton actually did use the term super predators to describe black people. Anyway. Trump on Iran's... man. Trump on Iran's funding for Hamas and Hezbollah. Trump claimed that when he was president, Iran had no money for Hamas and no money for terror. Do you know why? Because Iran was broke, whatever, blah, 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 blah. We all saw the debate. We know what he said. Trump's claimed that Iran had no money and no terror and no money for Hezbollah during his presidency is false. Oh my goodness. Wow. Did you actually believe that Iran and Hamas and all that had $0 and 0 cents? He's not literally saying that they had $0 and 0 cents in their bank account. He was just saying that they didn't have enough money to... They didn't have as much money as they do now. They didn't have all this funding to do these terrible things. Iran's funding for such groups did decline in the second half of his presidency. Booyah! Proven wrong. In large part because of his sanctions on the country had major negative impact on Iran's economy. Booyah! Boom. But the funding never stopped entirely. Wow. Really? It's okay, so Trump's not actually making the claim that Iran had $0 and 0 cents in their bank account. He was basically saying that they didn't have enough money to be able to actually be a threat, is what he was saying. This is literally just nitpicking grammar. I saw some memes on this article. And this is kind of funny, because I haven't read this article before. This is my first time reading it. And one of the memes on it said, like, CNN fact-checking Trump. And it was like, Trump said that the grocery bills went up ×4. And then the fact check goes, no, it went up by 3.5 times. It's like nitpicking his wording instead of actually fact-checking him. So yeah, this is just trash. Trump on National Guard in Minneapolis. Trump said that he deployed the National Guard to Minneapolis in 2020 during the unrest that followed the murder of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many cities, you go to Minnesota, Minneapolis. What they have done there with these fires all over the city, it didn't bring in the National Guard. That would have been destroyed. This is false. Minnesota Democratic Governor Tim Walz, not Trump, deployed the Minnesota National Guard during the 2020 unrest. So, like I said, so this is another wording issue. This is another wording issue. Again, all of these debates, or all of these arguments saying that Trump lied, are all just nitpicking his grammar. It literally just nitpicks his grammar the entire time. Whatever. Wait, isn't Trump in charge of the National Guard? Like, doesn't he say yes and no? Like, that's the debate for, that's the whole argument for the whole January 6th thing, is that Trump had the ability to bring in the National Guard, and he didn't. And then now all of a sudden, when the National Guard goes to Memphis and Minneapolis, that's now Trump's fault? Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. You're being inconsistent. It's kind of inconsistent on your part. Trump on the European Union trade practices. Trump's complaining about the European trade union practices, claimed that the EU doesn't accept U.S. products, including American cars. They don't want, this is a quote, they don't want anything that we have, Trump said Thursday, but we're supposed to take their cars, their food, and everything, their agriculture. It's not true that the European Union won't take American products, including cars, though some U.S. exports do face UE trade barriers, and through U.S. automakers have had hard times gaining popularity with the European. So Trump says that they don't want to take our cars. And he literally said they don't want to take the stuff we have. And then you go, that's not true. They just don't want to take our stuff. And it's really hard, and they make it really hard for us to do it. But Trump's a complete liar, guys. This whole thing is literally garbage. This article is garbage. Moving on. I'm gonna skip all the Biden ones because I don't really care. Really, I just wanted to debunk the Trump ones. So Trump on job growth during Biden's presidency. Trump said that President Biden, the only jobs he created were illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs. And a bounce back job as someone that loses their job because of like a virus, say like COVID, for example. And then the bounce back job is when COVID's over, they give you the job back. That's a bounce back job. Trump's claimed that the job growth during Biden's administration, Biden's presidency, has been all bounce back gains, where people went back to their old jobs, is not fully correct. Oh, I see. Not fully correct, you say. So you're not saying it's not correct, you're saying it's not fully correct. It's not completely flat out wrong. It's not a complete flat out lie. But let's put it in an article saying the 30 lies of Trump during the debates. Let's do that, guys. Doesn't that sound like a great idea? Yeah, sounds like a great idea, guys. Freaking stupid. Trump on Biden as a Ukraine prosecutor. Trump brought up an anti-Biden lie about Ukraine that has been a mainstay of both 2020 and 2024. So Trump slammed Biden for supposedly telling the Ukrainian people to change the prosecutor, otherwise you're not getting the $1 billion, referring to Biden's effort to remove the Ukrainian top prosecutor in 2016. Trump also claimed that the Ukrainian prosecutor's outsider was related to Biden's son, referring to Hunter Biden, who was on board for a prominent Ukrainian energy company. If I ever said that, that's quid pro. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. Trump's claims are false. Even though we have video footage of Biden literally saying that on tape, it is 100% false, ladies and gentlemen. We have video footage. Since 2019, this is what the fact checker said. This is what the super smart fact checker said. Since 2019, Trump and his Republican allies have falsely accused Biden of abusing power while serving as vice president to get a top Ukrainian prosecutor fired, supposedly because the prosecutor probed into the Ukrainian energy plant giant and threatened his son, Hunter Biden. The claim was never true. Never true. It was recorded on video. Hello? Do I need to play the clip for you guys? No, screw it. I'm going to play the clip for you guys. Screw it.
I'll give you one concrete example. I was, not but it just happened to be that was the assignment I got. I got all the good ones. So I got Ukraine. And I remember going over convincing our team, or others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So he literally said it on tape. He said it on tape. It's over for you suckers. Now I'm going to call you guys suckers. You're going to accuse Trump of saying suckers. You guys are suckers. The claim is never true and has been repeatedly debunked. How? It's on tape. He literally said it. It is one of the most cited talking points used by the Republicans against Biden during any discussion about his ties to Ukraine. Except for it actually happened. And it's funny because, so that whole thing with Biden, saying that with his son, that was one of the impeachment things that he said. That was one of the main things that I heard about during his first impeachment, was that Trump told Ukraine to fire somebody or else they weren't going to get the money, and that was a piece of power, and that's why he got impeached the first time. So, now it didn't happen. Now that we all know that Joe Biden was the one that did that. So Trump, on his criminal case, Trump repeated his frequent claims that Biden and his Justice Department were behind Trump's 4 indictments during the Manhattan hush money case, in which Trump was convicted of 34 felony counts for falsifying business records. Here's the evidence. Or here's the fact check. There's no evidence supporting the claim. Oh, really now? There's no evidence supporting the claim. So, the fact that there's no evidence supporting the claim, which there's quite a bit of evidence supporting this claim, but because there's no evidence supporting this claim, we should just outright disregard the claim altogether, say that it's not true, and it's an outright lie, even though there's no evidence. There's no evidence, but it's fake. I wonder if they have the same opinion on Trump's rape case. No evidence of that. It went so far as the jury in that trial even said there's no evidence of Trump raping that girl. But yeah, it's still a mainstream belief. What about Biden's claim earlier that the suckers and losers thing? There's no basis. There's no evidence of that at all. But we're supposed to just believe it as fact. Get out of here. Garbage. So this is going to be the last one I fact check. Because there's so many, and I just don't. This video is going to be like a few hours long if I keep going. So Trump on other countries doing businesses with Iran during his presidency. So Trump claimed that China, among other countries, passed on doing business with Iran during his presidency after he vowed that the U.S. would not do business with any country that does so. This is false. China oil imports from Iran briefly plummeted under Trump in 2019. So it briefly happened. Therefore, Trump completely lied. Trump's main thesis is a complete lie because something briefly happened. I see. That makes a ton of sense. Complete lie. You completely lied because something briefly happened during a time when it wasn't supposed to happen. Therefore, it was a complete lie. Trump impact on the immigration and Medicare and Social Security. Trump said at least twice during the debate that Biden would destroy Social Security and Medicare by putting migrants entering the U.S. on benefits. And then, fact check, Trump is wrong. In fact, the opposite is true, particularly in the near term. Multiple experts say mainly undocumented immigrants work, which means they pay much needed payroll taxes. And this bolsters the Social Security and Medicare trust funds and extends their sovereignty. Immigrants who are working legally typically don't collect benefits for many years. As for those who are undocumented, some working under fake Social Security numbers, so they are paying payroll taxes but don't qualify to collect benefits. So, this is completely inaccurate because there's some exceptions to it. And that's like when I say like women can't drive or women aren't funny, and someone goes, "You're wrong. This one is." And it's like, okay, the exception to the rule is the thing that makes the rule. That's the basis here. The exception to the rule makes the rule. The idea that there are exceptions to the rule is what makes the rule. So, fact checked wrong once again. Just because. So it literally says right here, multiple experts say many undocumented immigrants work. Many. Okay, so Trump's completely wrong. Because Trump literally said that he's going to destroy Social Security and Medicare by putting migrants entering the U.S. on benefits. And then you're not saying that migrants aren't getting benefits. You're just saying that some of them don't. That doesn't prove Trump wrong. You're just making another point. Anyway. I'm going to see if there's anything good here. And then let's do this one. This will be the last one I do. So Trump reiterated election lies, claiming that he didn't accept the results in 2020 election because voter fraud. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous, Trump said. Trump's election claims remain false. The 2020 election was not rigged or stolen. Oh, are you going to bring up any evidence that backs this up? Trump lost fair and square to Biden by an electoral college margin of 306 to 232. His opponents did not cheat, and there are no evidence of any fraud, even close to widespread enough to have changed the outcome. So there's not any evidence that it's widespread enough to have changed the outcome of the vote. But there is evidence of voter fraud. And there was widespread voter fraud. But you're admitting that there wasn't enough to change the result of the election. Okay, buddy. Okay. You know, except for the main piece of evidence that completely dismantles the election integrity, is that there was like 132 million registered voters in America, and there were not 132 million votes casted. There was like 20 million more votes casted. It was like 158 million votes casted, even though we only had 132 million voters in America registered. Now, pause. I already know your argument. You're already going to the comments. I already know you're going to say, oh, but what about the North Dakota that doesn't need, that you don't need to be registered to vote in North Dakota in order to vote, except for the fact that North Dakota is not making up like 28 million voters. I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen. By the way, North Dakota is the only state that allows you to not vote, or allows you to vote without registering. And let's look at the population of North Dakota real quick. I'm going to fact check myself real quick right now on set. I'm fact checking myself live right now on the show. All right, so you want to see the population of North Dakota in 2020? It was 765,000 people. That's everybody combined. So, it is very clear that there's not nearly enough people in North Dakota to have overturned the election. So therefore, the idea that there's more votes than registered voters means that the election was rigged. That's what that means. It just is. Alright, that is going to be the end of my show. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, you can give it a like, comment, subscribe for more. I make videos like this very frequently. So, if you hit the notification, you'll see more of my content throughout the week. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Peace.